Down smash.
This could be
And
it.
shield. Last time.
Oh shit!
Here we go.
Oh shit! Dig deep.
Can make magic happen again, and we'll Fedora bring us right back down to earth.
Oh, that was crazy stuff.
Oh shit! No! Oh!
We're still doing it.
It was down. Oh!
No, recovers.
One last hit.
Yes, one
I
more.
think Kem can live it. Oh!
And I think Ken's made it down.
And they love it. The crowd loves it.
They do. They're belligerent. Oh man. You know, we're find out.
John go out a lot of hate.
Welcome to Fourside Fights, featuring Bonfire10, Rishi, Spark, and Apologyman. Citizens of Fourside, I'm Jackzilla, and I know, number one, the debut of my first ever combo video netting me 9 views is proof that I am the artist's artist. Number two, I apologize to everyone in bronze flex queue for my Katarina. The champion is extremely hard to learn and extremely bad. Number three, every pundit who appears on Fourside Fights is being armed for the skeleton wars like Stephen A. Smith going on Fox News. And number four, I like to eat cereal with milk as a drink on the side. I like the crunchiness. Crunchiness is great. Let's go to each side. How do you eat your cereal? Bonfire10.
I think the crunchiness is necessary. I still have the milk in it, but if it goes more than a minute or two, then it gets too soggy. Fuck Katarina. She's dog shit right now.
That's right. Rishi?
Normally, cereal, milk. This morning, I put cereal on top of my yogurt. That was pretty good. That was a real adult in the office breakfast kind of move for me. And
Your Fruit
League of
Loops?
Legends, it was what was it? It was Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Cheerios combined.
Oh.
And with regards to League, I missed Cho'Gath when I played him 10 years ago. That's all I have to
Okay,
offer.
there you go.
You cross
That's what
streams
Cho'Gath
with cereal?
Yeah.
Spark,
Yeah.
what do you think? How do you take your cereal?
Dave's Hot Chicken lets you put Cinnamon Toast Crunch on your shake now, so I really like doing that.
Okay. And
That's how I
Apology
used to-
Man, how do you take your cereal?
Okay, I feel like it was a little pointed question at me, but I actually
Huh?
like to microwave my milk before putting my cereal in it. Microwave for like about a minute. And it gets nice and warm. You get nice warm chocolate milk if you have it with Cocoa Puffs. That's how I like it.
See, I think that makes you fit right in here. Welcome to the deranged world of Fourside Fights. We're going to have 4 outstanding guests today who are going to act as pundits as I throw topic after topic at them. They'll give their takes. If they're entertaining or interesting, I'll give them points. If they're boring, repetitive, or patently unreasonable, I'll subtract points. And of course, I can mute any contestant at any time for any reason. The player with the most points at the end is our winner. They get to commentate the 3 losers as they take it to Fourside in a free-for-all so we can see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Let's get started with our first topic. The Function 4 last week saw Joshman become the new king of New York with wins over Kadoran twice, Aklo, SDJ, Kem, Nanami, and Just Jason. It also featured Chroma09, who's boycotting Fourside Fights until I lift him over my head in person in New York City. It also saw Rishi make it to top 8 before losing to Fro116. But wait, I saw those two play before at that tournament. So here's my question. When is New York City going to break their addiction to Double Jeopardy? Let's start with you, Rishi. What's going on?
Honestly, my set count with Fro this year, I beat him at Collision. I beat him at Nightclub twice. I beat him at Function in Winners. And then I lost probably the most important set of those 5 sets, which is actually in top 8 at Function. So I think he's just the better player. That's all I have to say on this matter.
Yeah, it's about winning when it counts.
Yeah.
Anybody else? What were your takes from the Function 4? How do you feel about Double Jeopardy?
What's
It's
Double
not-
Jeopardy?
It's when you fight the same person in the bracket, and the TOs could have avoided it by changing the bracket or having the bracket not allow for Double Jeopardy before top 4.
You can't force it to not allow for it if it happens to, if that's where the paths go. I'm definitely against changing the bracket mid.
You can avoid it happening early at certain
Sure.
points.
I mean, sure. It was
Yeah,
at top
Yeah,
8.
you just gotta make it on the good side. If it's on the bad
Yeah.
side, vibes are off. But more importantly, we need to talk about the monitors. We only have 18 viewers. Let's just call a spade a spade. I know it's good for the game to pretend like these tournaments matter.
The YouTubers
but
are going to come
monitor
out.
tournaments do not matter. Let's be real.
You think
you
monitor is
can-
that bad that it just doesn't matter?
It's pretty bad.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think
Can you guys remind me though, which is the most attended melee local in the world on average? Is it in not New York? Any other region? Or is it in New York? Anyone?
the most densely populated city. Yeah, of course.
Well, so the answer is New York, right?
Yeah. You
And
got
we
more
play on
people.
what?
And it's because of the monitors that they all flock to that venue. They just love the monitors so damn much.
So in a
Oh,
way,
yeah.
monitors are keeping the local scene
Oh,
of
yeah.
Smash
Oh,
Bros. Melee
monitors are
alive.
saving melee is what it sounds like.
Specifically,
Yeah, that's what it
because the
sounds like.
monitors
It's
are
like the
there.
exact opposite of what he said saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I think
know.
they can
It
have
sounds like
fun
we're all
playing on
agreeing
them.
with
It
Rishi.
shouldn't
That's what
count.
I'm
Listen,
hearing.
everyone's got what they're into, and if Fox players and Falco players are like, dude, I don't know what it is, but I'm cooking on this setup against the Sheik player, then more power to them. I love that they're living in blissful ignorance, but at the end of the day, we got to tell it like it is.
I think they should just play on their monitor in like their own home behind a
That's-
closed door.
New Game
I
Plus
just don't
Ultra
think
had
they should
monitor
take it.
melee locals in Boston.
And that's not good. But also we have
Oh.
headphones, and you can't plug headphones into the monitors there. They don't have the splitters.
All I
It's so
remember is the
loud in
last
there. There was
time-
like 300 people in that room. You can't
Mhm.
hear when a Fox is off stage. You need to be able to hear side B versus up B.
That
It's
is true.
impossible otherwise.
It is
There's
a
like
different
audio lag
meta.
monitor, right?
Yeah, and there's also a different meta in New York because you're dealing with New York crowds. I live in New York. I still get cheered against in New York crowds. It's something you got to deal with when you come to the city.
I like
What
getting
can you
cheered
do to
against.
earn
I
their
just like being
respect?
able to hear the game.
Yeah.
I double wrap my ears, man. I got the earbuds with the game audio. I got the earmuffs over the earbuds. I'm going sicko mode. I'm Inspector Gadget.
Rishi, how do you earn the respect of a New York crowd? Oh, sorry, apology, man. You go for it.
Oh no, I was just gonna say the last CRT that I had a discoloration in the bottom left corner of it. So when I was playing GTA 5 when it came out, I literally couldn't see the map, and I was like, "Wow, I hate CRTs." And then I got
You
a
were playing
monitor
GTA
afterwards.
5 on a CRT?
Yeah, wait. what?
What the fuck?
How?
This is the
okay,
warm
no.
milk of gaming.
On your PlayStation, your PlayStation 3, you were hooked up
Yeah.
to a CRT.
Yeah, that was over a decade ago. Oh yeah, you guys are making me feel old. But yeah, anyway, that wouldn't have happened on a monitor, is all I'm saying. And
The
No, it wouldn't
discolorations are
have.
cool.
I guarantee not a single person at Rockstar tried the game out on CRT. You were the first quality
Has
engineer to
anyone
test
played
that
Smash
use
Ultimate
case.
on a CRT? Or I actually tried it. Wait, it was
Is
either
it-
Smash
is it
Ultimate
actually
or
good?
Smash 4. No,
the same.
It's really ugly.
Okay.
But maybe it is anyway. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
You
I
gotta
try
go
not
get
to
'em.
look.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. Back at the beginning of the month, Zane won Wavelength 2024 in Westford, Massachusetts, defeating Amp, who took a game off of him in his round one pool, defeating Bonfire10, Zanya, Joshman, SFOP, Hungrybox, and then Aklo in grand finals. Jmook dropped out of the tournament, having overslept, which yoinked us of a potential full bloom rematch in grands. But the Hungrybox set was incredibly close. Hungrybox went up 2-1 and then arguably choked the win in game 4 with an edge guard that he dropped. Is Healthy Box already paying dividends? Will Hungry Box send Zane and his magical sword back in time, allowing him to create a future that is only Juan? What did you think of Wavelength?
I think
Gameplay-wise.
the way he got comebacked on was so devastating for Hungry Box that I think it's going to take him 2 or 3 more tournaments to get back to the way he was.
Oh, you think
I
that
know, I
those
could-
mental scars?
That shit left a mark. The weirdest interactions, the weirdest nair, and then Puff went under. It was ass.
Is this
I
something that
wouldn't
happens
recover
to
from
all
that.
of you? That like, if you lose in a particularly evil way, it leaves scarring for multiple
Oh
tournaments?
yeah, like you ever get Slight
It
DI
does.
technically shined for the 5th time in a row, and then that's how you lose the set?
Yeah.
I feel like I've lost at least 10 years of my life because of Fox.
All I know about HBox is that he went on this like health journey recently, and
He's on
once
it,
he
yeah.
started going on this health journey is the first time he missed like a top 8 at a major. So I think the only correlation is he should, just like eat some Cheetos Like eat some eat some cupcakes or something. Like this health thing isn't working. I think you know.
Also something to take the edge off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can't remember. I think it might have been his melee focus. He had a melee focus arc, and then he missed top 8, and then he's replaced his
Oh,
melee
okay,
focus
okay. I
arc
see.
with a
I see.
health
Yeah.
arc.
So that was the.
Yeah,
Alright.
but still, it might help to have a cheat day on the day of a tournament.
He needs to play more ultimate. Is my biggest suggestion. I think.
I
that'll
see,
help
I see.
Each box
I-
in this
Yeah,
situation.
some Lucario, throw it in there in the mix.
Yeah.
I do think that you're giving too much agency to HBox in this equation and not considering the fact that Zane has been farming him for a while now. And as soon as HBox gets any closer, then Zane's going to open up youtube.com and type in Hungrybox Zane and,
Yeah.
do analysis for
Listen.
like an hour, and then it'll look like old times.
Do you think he would
Listen,
ever
I'ma keep
put in
it-
the YouTube thing, Hungrybox versus Smash God?
He might. He might. That's a
He might.
legendary set. That was actually almost exactly 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Wait, did he play H-Box twice at that tournament? I forget.
Nope. Just winner
Okay.
side. Hungrybox
Um,
lost and losers.
How did it go?
I see. It was right before the H-Box set. Zane asked me to come over from Panera Bread and unscrew his controller and adjust the capacitor module. So I did that, and I feel like as long as I'm there, there's just no way, dude.
And then he went down 2-1 and almost lost on a choked edge guard?
Yeah, but then he just locked in. You had to get used to it, you know.
Okay, he locked
Sometimes you
in.
need to shake the capacitor a little bit before
Is
it settles
Xbox
in.
playing on a Spark controller?
H-Box has 2 Spark controllers, and
But-
I think he doesn't use them.
But
No
he doesn't
shot.
use
When,
them.
when he's
But
reaching
what
in
does
his
Zane
bag,
play on? What
He
controller
plays
does
on-
Zane play on?
Zane plays on a Spark controller.
That's interesting. You know, like I think that might be the problem. I think he needs to be using a Spark controller.
all
right?
right, you
Okay,
both are
yeah.
stealing too hard.
That's what I'm
Bonfire.
saying.
The link.
This is why we're friends, man. This is why we're
Yeah.
friends.
I
Gotta
was
go with that.
I did not see Hungrybox play at this tournament. I was eating malai kofta at the time. So
So you
I left
abandoned the
venue.
tournament after you lost. This was a salty
No, I
tournament for
stayed.
you.
I played around, and then I went to get dinner because there was again like 1,000 people in a room meant for 300.
Yeah,
That is the
thing
next
about
topic,
that
true,
venue
true.
is the vibes were in shambles. I'm
Then let's go right to the next topic. So
Well,
Wavelength
I just want to.
Balloon-
Can I interject for a
last
second?
stop,
Just
gameplay,
because
yeah.
you mentioned Malay Kofta, I think
Yeah.
this is a good opportunity to say happy Diwali to everybody.
Yes,
It happens to be on Halloween this year, so yeah,
Yay.
happy Diwali.
Spooky Diwali. Yes.
All right. So next topic. Wavelength ballooned from being planned as a regional to a 665-person event in seemingly like a month and a half. The rapid growth came at a cost, with the event struggling to expand venue space while competing with a wedding, I believe, and generally cramped conditions. What should tournament organizers do in this position where they plan a regional and then suddenly you get a few top players and people are, hammering down the door, please let us in? What do you do?
I think you just have to have a hard cutoff for entrance. And if it's a good tournament, if everyone's like watches it and sees the top, level talent, they'll say, "Oh, I really want to go next year," and that's when they can plan to expand. That's how Battle of BC did it, and it's worked great. So I think but now that it's like kind of the players had not a great experience, maybe it doesn't have as much momentum next year.
You don't think people will be like, oh, well, they'll get a better venue to fix the problem?
I think that's what a rational person would say. I don't think that that's necessarily most people. I think it's maybe most, but not everyone.
Yeah, I feel like you just gotta cap it, honestly. Like I've only helped with one like pretty large regional that we throw at Guild House in NorCal in downtown San Jose called Slashback. And we hella had to cap it. Like if we let even a little bit more people enter, like the experience would just suck. And I think if the experience sucks, people aren't gonna come back, so you won't grow. Like you just gotta cap it.
Yep, I agree because I have no creativity to think of any other ideas. All I will say is I had the most miserable tournament experience ever at Wavelength, but because I'm so mature, I don't tweet about these things. But if you look at day 2, I was clearly in a mask and fist bumping people with my elbow. It was just a breeding ground for illness, and I was caught in the crossfire, and I could barely move and had, I was in a lot of pain, and I took the crispiest one stock against Aklo, if you want to watch that set.
Did you get sick after?
I got sick between day 1 and 2, and
Okay.
I just masked up and elbowed, and then played my 2 sets, and I was like, all right, I can leave now. It looks like I tried.
Yeah, that makes sense. So maybe Jmook with a tactical retreat by sleeping in.
Dude, I fixed his controller the night before, and then he just didn't show up for no reason. Fucked up.
I do think you need to consider decorum when you're sharing a venue with a non-Smash event. I mean, I was not at Wavelength, but some of the stories I heard really called back to the experiences at Pound 2016, which took
Oh,
place at a hotel. And there were quite a few Facebook reviews that were left by some of the other guests in the hotel after that tournament. They were not favorable towards the
can you give us
unsh-
a sampling?
It was something about unshowered gamers walking through the hotel loudly, something to that effect. I mean, nothing that new.
Yeah. Had you taken a shower?
I had taken a shower. I'd probably taken 2 showers back to
Mm,
back.
mm-hmm.
I usually
Just
do
to
at tournaments.
raise
Yeah,
the average number of showers of the
exactly.
attendees.
I try. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you feel like the wedding people at what was their experience at Wavelength? Were they upset about it? Were they feeling like they were asserting their dominance?
I can only speculate, not having been actually an attendee at that way. I wasn't at Wavelength, or actually wasn't at the wedding either. But
Really?
yeah,
They
no, I
didn't invite
wasn't.
you?
No, I wasn't at the wedding. But I can only speculate that it wasn't good, especially if the capacity was so, oversold.
It
What
was
did
on a
y'all
different
notice, people who
floor.
were there?
It was on a different floor, so I don't think that
Oh,
actually
okay, okay,
impacted
okay.
them. But I think
Yeah,
they
but with
just didn't
enough
tell us.
players, I don't know. You
Yeah,
would start
I
getting
hope.
whiffs.
I wonder how much money you can save on your wedding by having it in the same venue. Just like have it right next to it.
That's a real cost benefit analysis.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
done
we
that
need to,
one.
if we can graduate from feeling like, oh, these gamers didn't shower to, oh, these gamers are smoking a lot of weed, I think that would be a directional improvement that is achievable.
I do think you get that too. I think it's just
Maybe normies don't know that weed isn't unshowered
yeah, yeah,
smell.
yeah, yeah.
They might be mixing the two up.
That actually could be. That's a really good. Can you give yourself points for that?
You're the first person to correctly point out that I should be getting.
just think-
I think of it as your total points are my points. You
That's
know what
just a
I'm
really
saying?
good point. I hadn't heard that before. So.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like the
Kudos.
normies. I had only one experience with a normie at Wavelength, a wedding normie, and it was this woman who walked in and was like, "There are 2 TVs and splitting the game." And then she asked me if
crazy.
if we could do that for Mario Kart Double Dash for
Oh my god.
for her
That's
kids, and
insane.
I was like, you actually can, because that's one of the only GameCube games where you can take 2 GameCubes
Yeah.
and link them together. But I was like, but that's not what this is. We are splitting the same signal twice. And she was
Yeah,
like,
you're more right than you
oh,
know.
but
Yeah.
That's actually a really great interaction to have with somebody who knows nothing about
Yeah,
Smash. Bros.
I
was really
love
funny.
normie interactions.
Yeah.
I love talking to people that have no idea what's going on.
You can just send her Aiden Calvin's, Twitter.
That's
you know,
right.
he can help her, get her involved.
All right, let's move on to
Yeah.
our next topic. Rivals 2 was released this month and has already hit 100,000 copies sold, and I believe only 15K of those were from the Kickstarter. I've been curious lately about the impact of Rivals 2 on cementing platform fighters as a genre that exists seriously beyond just Smash Bros. Do we think that this diversification away from Nintendo improves platform fighters' chances of being included and popular at FGC events, or does it add even more to the separation that exists between us? Or more bluntly, are we going to get Rivals 2 at the EVO main stage? Let's start with Apologyman.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really happy to see other platform fighters like succeeding. There's a ton of alternative platform fighters that, I feel like they come and go, but I feel like the way Rivals is like really hitting the mark, and its growth is going to be good for like all platform fighters in general. But the thing I like about Rivals the most is it kind of feels like platform fighter Guilty Gear, and what I mean by that is everybody has like their weird fucked up character with their stupid mechanic of like this dude makes a bubble and like this guy like makes a rock from the floor, and everyone likes to do their stupid thing and then complain about the other character's stupid thing. And
Yes,
it's just
everyone does a
hating each
stupid
other.
thing.
Yeah, yeah, and I love that about the game, and I think that's like a good design space, where you just
Yeah,
make
Guilty
like
Gear voice. I like that this game is like Guilty
Mhm.
Gear.
Yeah, it's like a very selfish platform fighter. Like I'm gonna do my thing. So I like that it's doing well, and the bigger it gets, like that's just good for the genre as a whole, I think.
What do you think are the chances of Evo?
Pretty good, honestly. I mean, obviously, Smash is like not. It's too bad because I love seeing Smash at like Evo, honestly. So yeah, it not being held down
Me
by
too.
Nintendo.
I've been my a recurring bit on this show, depending on how much you've watched, is me begging and pleading and telling the Evo people, we'll do best of one. I don't care, best of two, and then you flip a coin. What do you need? But we'll see. What about the rest of y'all? What do you think?
I think that has a good chance of getting into Evo just because the dev team has historically done a really good job of reaching out and doing like collabs and stuff. Like they got Ori from other games, they got Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
They're now that was published by Off-Brand, so like there's a lot of name recognition that goes with that, and like Ludwig can maybe, I don't know, help pull strings in certain ways, but like yeah, it's that they like favor newish games anyway, right? Even if it only gets on maybe 1 year, I think that's a good chance. And
Yeah.
it's gotten like incredibly popular from the release week.
100,000 seems like a lot to me. Is it a lot compared to other fighting games that like make it to Evo? Is that normal, medium?
Depends. I think so there's definitely some really small fighting games at like that are at Evo. And how they get there is I don't know. Like I'm sure there's like companies have to pay to get in. I'm pretty sure that's like a thing. I'm not really fully sure, but like Mortal Kombat, for example, like had like maybe like 300 people or something at like Evo, and that's like
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat, right? So I don't know. I think Rivals' trajectory right now is like definitely enough to like get into Evo.
But keep in mind that Rivals 2 had an Evo main stage announcement spot this year after one beta. That's when
Mm.
they announced. I don't know if it was Orcane or if it was something else. I'm pretty sure they announced Orcane at Evo this year.
Oh,
Plus they had a booth at Evo. I know because I sat there and I played for 3 hours. So there's definitely some floor presence from Rivals. In terms of staying power and overall platform fighter growth, I mean, I think the proof is in the pudding. Um, like Nickelodeon All Star Brawl probably was still pretty big about 10 days into his launch, but I think it fell off pretty hard after that. I loved that game. I bought Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2, played it probably one time, uh,
Yeah.
and I'm now at 100 hours into Rivals 2 over,
Yeah.
over
You
the
didn't
last
like
few months.
LeBron?
Uh,
One of the greatest fighting game characters of all time, LeBron James?
you know what? Playing LeBron in Multiverses was actually really fun.
Oh, that was the
Um,
wrong
Yeah, I was
one.
gonna
Sorry,
say,
I'm
was he
mixing
in
up my
Nickelodeon?
yeah, I'm mixing up
Multiverses,
my
yeah.
kitty games that I didn't play.
But I
Uh,
think Multiversus had a much different artistic and business model viewpoint than Rivals has. I mean, it's a live services game. They're releasing new stuff all the time, and there were a lot of complaints about monetization and also how you accrue in-game currency right off the bat. Nobody wanted to play single player mode in that game. I hop on Rivals 2 online. I play online. I get coins. I'm just getting coins from whatever I'm doing. They just want me
it's
to play the
amazing.
game, and that's what I'm doing. And then that's how I'm gonna get all
You love
my
to see the number go up.
stuff. Yeah.
Listen, I'm not gonna pretend like I've played the game. I don't do anything with my life except play Melee, and now, as of 3 days ago, Balatro. I don't do anything else, bro. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know anything if the game's good, if the game's bad. But I do know people, and I know the vibes, and the vibes seem different this time. This isn't Nickelodeon All Star Brawl. This isn't
Mhm.
Nickelodeon All Star Brawl 2, and this isn't Multiverses. I feel like this game's here to stay and just to be a main staple
But not with Spark
of
playing
our
it.
community. Listen, I'll give it a whirl. I like the sword person. So
Which one?
Well, it's a cat.
Claren, I think.
Claren, yeah.
Mhm.
I guess the other one is a knife, not so much a sword, but it
Yeah.
depends on, your perspective.
Oh,
Because of
Def-
course, the
Definitely a
Hobbit
knife. Definitely a knife for sure.
wielding Sting. Sting is a knife to an elf, but to a hobbit, it certainly is a sword.
Spark, you
So-
know Sheik's in the game, right? Just
Dead
frog,
ass.
frog
They
form.
just
Yeah.
have it's basically the same. It's very, very close to
No,
Sheik.
It's
It's one of the
basically
most
PM
one to
Sheik.
one.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Yeah.
the
basically
down throw
PM
back
Sheik.
throw? That shit is lit.
You get
No.
down throw, back throw, but you also have a mid-screen command grab, which is pretty good, and you can do an aerial mid-screen command grab that option selects into Schmoove, and that's Junebug's
Oh
words, not
yeah,
my words.
that'll
Yeah.
fix me.
Yeah, we're gonna get you in there. We're gonna get you on the frog. You're gonna
I'll
be
slam it
finding out
in.
pretty
Listen,
soon.
the thing about me is I'm not afraid to try new things. I just don't
Well,
want to.
You
just
do
said
talk
you-
a lot about how you only play melee
yeah,
and you just started
I don't know
Balatro.
how
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I just don't do it.
Zaid,
you
what if
definitely
I
go
said
to
that
it.
Rivals 2 was the milkshake of platform fighters?
All right, you've convinced me.
All right.
All right, Rishi gets to make milkshake jokes. You can only do that in person. All right, let's move on to the next topic. This is still Rivals 2. A recent patch. Oh no, sorry, it isn't. A recent patch of Guilty Gear Strive has been described to me by my FGC knowing friends as quote just goofy shit and quote took out a bunch of legacy difficult execution to quote turn everything up to 11. This begs the question: which is more of a party game in 2024? Guilty Gear Strive, which now has Luigi on the ice ground, or Rivals 2, which has Raster and Crag?
I don't know, actually. I don't
Oh,
know.
no.
I don't
Party
play that
games now.
game.
But look, here's the thing. Every patch that comes out for Guilty Gear, all the players are just begging for them to nerf Satan. Like, please, it's year 4. You gotta nerf like the blue twink chaos, happy chaos who shoots like a gun that auto tracks to you. And like people just keep hoping that these like insane characters will be like toned down to like a more reasonable level. But the game is about that. It's about like this crazy stuff. I do think, yeah, some characters got turned up a little, maybe a little too high, and it's very early, so there's a lot of knee jerk reactions. But there's a lot of good changes in there, honestly. Like I actually think there's like a lot of insightful changes, and there's some reworks that I'm like a little worried about. So the execution thing that you mentioned, this character Potemkin, he's like a grappler. He had like this car cancel where he could like cancel the first few frames of like an attack into like his special move. They just got rid of it. And I'm like, I don't know about that. So there's like some questionable reworks, but there's some really good changes. Like my character got this really sick thing where you can like eat an item and you can like spit it
Yeah.
out at like different angles. That's sick. I don't know. I'm having a great time.
Always look it on the bright side. That's some Riot Games shilling. You know, they put it in your head. They're like, you know.
But I have a question for you then, Apology Man. How do you feel about patch updates for games that have been out for a few years that changed like core fundamental aspects of the mechanics or like how a character fundamentally functions? Like is that what's happening here? Because I've seen patches like that for like Dragon Ball, and it looks crazy to me as someone who hasn't played in a few years.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of changing character identity like that much. I'm a huge fan of patches like making characters better at what they do, like what they're designed to be good at.
Yeah.
So this patch, like it mostly did that, but there's some characters that didn't. So there's this character Ramlethal. She like has these 2 giant swords, and she is about like taking you to the corner, and then she like launches the sword into the
And
wall,
then
and
they
then like, does
explode.
the yeah.
Yep.
So in this rework, they're like, now she could just do it mid screen. Like, why not? And I'm like, all right, come on, relax. Like, that's maybe a little too much. So
Was
I
this
don't like
also
stuff like
the
that.
Yeah. Was this
But
also the patch where they added like the 3v3 in Strive?
oh,
Or did they
that's
already
coming
do that?
later. It's
That's
like
coming
a
later?
like a
Okay.
fun side mode. Yeah,
That
yeah,
looks super broken.
yeah. It's pretty funny. That one's pretty hilarious. Uh, but
Personally,
Anybody
yeah,
else?
honestly, like it's a good patch. Like I
Yeah.
think it's a good patch, but there's definitely some outliers right now.
Bonfire?
But
personally,
Leffen said it's bad.
Yeah, he's talking about
Bonfire's
Riot.
turn.
I
Like,
trust
Riot is
Leffen.
bad.
No, I am super very very against patch culture in video games, especially if they've been out for a while. That's why I like playing Melee. Like if you had a character that can like throw a dagger at someone and mark them, and then you could like shunpo to them and blow up the mark to deal damage, and then they change all of that system so that you drop a
Yeah.
dagger instead,
Yeah.
and they could just walk away from the dagger. That seems like it'd be a ridiculous change, and they should.
Yeah,
revert
it might
that.
make trading in
but-
lane nearly impossible.
right.
And
so-
to the point where I have a
almost like-
36% win rate across 40 games. That might happen.
It's almost like you're led to believe a character is a certain way, like with wobbling. And then they practice for 8 years to become top 10
Mhm.
in the world, and then you take away wobbling.
But did they
What do you
practice
do?
wobbling for 8 years, or did they? I think you
Well,
practiced
we're
the rest
all
of the
gone now.
fundamentals.
Is wobbling the core identity of ice climbers though, or is it
Yeah.
like throwing Nana out with the desyncs and the ice? Like, is grabbing him and
I
killing
don't
him?
know.
is
They're
that
all
the
gone
identity?
now, so clearly the character couldn't hang.
Okay,
There are a couple that are hanging.
I would say
Slug
the
is going to be at Let's
evidence-
Make Moves Miami.
I would say the evidence does not point to ice climbers not being able to hang in the current meta. I would also say that nobody practices wobbling for 8 years. You probably need 8 minutes to practice it and master it. But something you said, Zayd, actually was very interesting. You mentioned that Leffen said something about the patch. I don't know if you said that it was good
Yeah, I
or
said
bad.
Leffen said it's bad, and he's the Evo champion.
Okay, but that being
True.
said, I would be really curious to know whether there's a correlation between how much Leffen is complaining about a game and the longevity and success of that game long term. Because I think there's a lot of people concerned about Leffen's complaining about Rivals 2 right now. But I see all that stuff and I'm like, this is amazing for the game. He's
Yeah.
one of the most
Oh,
highly engaged fighting game players of all time. You want him tweeting about the game even if he hates it. Same goes for Strive.
Oh, he is the engine. He is
I have,
the
I have a lot
engine.
to say about this.
Is that a cat or a dog?
This is Smash Dog. She's going crazy. Yeah.
Happy.
Very good.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a
yeah,
lot of
Smash
points.
Dog. She's a crazy dog. Go ahead, go Murph.
So yeah, I've actually been reading the stuff that Leffen has been talking about Rivals 2 recently with like the discussion around like crouch canceling and floor hugging, right?
And
And
Raster.
like I love his angle because he's basically talking about floor hugging and crouch canceling in like a cautionary way, right? Like, oh, if the game didn't have it and it's very much clearly designed with it in mind, it would suck. Like, you would just being grounded wouldn't be rewarding. People just spam aerials, blah blah blah, and all that is true. But like his voice being so loud is like driving the perception of the game, you know. And I'm really interested what like the Rivals dev team will do in reaction to it, because you know, like, alternatively, the beginners or people that aren't really that privy with melee, they get crouch canceled. Like, I hit him. Why did they hit me back? That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. And like, their experience is valid, but you know what, how shitty the game would be if it didn't have that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And for every
it'd be
person
horrible.
who is getting owned in that way, there is somebody who is holding down and is like, haha, I got you. So
Yeah.
there's always another person.
No, yeah, for sure.
That's
And yeah, so like I think it's like Leffen usually has like a pretty good insight on like how games are played at a high level.
Mhm.
But also he could definitely complain and be biased about some other shit too. So you gotta be careful with them.
He's
But
never
I,
been
I
wrong.
I think he's got, at least for Rivals, he's
Yeah. Can you
It
name
doesn't.
like
It doesn't matter if he's right or wrong. It just matters if he's talking. If he's
well,
talking about the game's winning.
it matters to me, and he's, as far as I'm concerned, I've not seen a time that he's been wrong, except for about my events when he complained about those. All right, let's move on to our next topic. Moki made the argument on Twitter 2 weeks ago that melee players yearn year Facebook group should be looking to Reddit instead of Discord. He argues that Reddit has better search engine optimization, easier discoverability, and that regional subreddits could be an effective way to get people those old Facebook group vibes. Boston Melee was the first to take him up on this, founding a new subreddit just for their community. Is Moki spittin'? Should we kill the daily discussion thread? Is Reddit a better platform for growing our communities than Discord? Let's start with Spark, yeah.
I feel kind of strongly about this in halfway. So I don't know the vibes of Reddit. I mean, I've taken a gander. I don't really see much like interesting, but I feel that Facebook groups were lit as hell and shit was always going down, vibes were on, and now Discord is so zoomer pilled and there's also a million channels and nobody can keep up and nobody's engaging. Like, you look at the official NorCal Melee Discord, vibes are in shambles. Like, nobody is like speaking in there except for the most unhinged online gremlins of the world. And I can't help but feel like we lost something beautiful. And I miss
Is
it.
it just because
I
we're
don't see why
older?
we can't just I don't see why we can't just go back to Facebook, because I feel like everything was neatly organized. I don't think it has to do with getting older as much as it does the UI, just like how
Mm.
it works. Like, it's like a fucking Slack channel with like, and there's just like, oh, you want to look at my fit pics? You want to see what I cooked today? And like, then there's also general, and it's like, dude, nobody except the weirdest people on earth are gonna keep up with this.
Like, unfortunately, my grandma's on Facebook, and and that is not the case for Twitter. Despite Elon ruining Twitter right now, like, I don't have to deal with my relatives like in the same place I'm posting about this stuff. So I'm very happy to move away from Facebook personally.
Well, they would be
Would
in
you move to
private
Reddit
groups,
over
wouldn't they?
Discord?
Yeah, the groups you can't see the vibes.
I use Reddit like here and there. I'm not really sure, but Discord, it definitely hides. It like buries all the information, and it's like kind of hard to find. So I do think that's an issue. I think we need better wikis, if anything. I think wikis are really important. But yeah, it's hard for like I definitely understand the perspective of Reddit to keep discussion in a easy
Yeah,
as you
I
can.
don't know how much wikis build community though, besides like the editing community, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think Wiki plus Discord is fine, but if only Discord is bad, I think.
I see.
Yeah,
Bonfire?
Discord's too like stream of conscious type like messaging where it's not just here's a post and then things about the post. It's just a bunch of different conversations happening at once. And if you try to sort them all out through like pre-made channels, you just get a million channels. I think Reddit's
Mhm.
better. One thing that might be, I still think we could go back to Facebook, and I think the anonymity is a problem with it. And then Facebook, it's not. Maybe in Reddit, if you could like link your Start GG account, and that's like required
Ooh.
in order to post and comment. Because I know there have been like controversial Reddit posts in the past where like it'll be like, oh, Magi made top 100 for the first time, and all of a sudden there's a post with 500 comments, the majority of people having never commented on this subreddit before, and it's like, oh, where'd they come from? And
Yeah.
it's not good stuff. And it's like, yeah, maybe it's just actual people, and then if you have to own what you say, and you'll get banned if it's
That does
not
make me
cool.
think though of like melee hell. Like even when we were on
Yeah.
Facebook, there were evil gremlins who found ways to coalesce and
But they weren't in the official groups.
that's fair. Rishi?
This is my favorite tired, boring topic because I think it's
You know
born
what?
of
You know what? No, no, no.
not I,
You can be done. You don't have to participate then in this topic. You can just sit there. You can be muted, and we can move on to our next topic. Oh, it's a boring, tried out. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, but when you said it, Jack, you were actually really cool. All right.
Wait, what happened?
we lost Vinny.
Oh, we lost video,
I
but that
thought
wasn't me.
Jack-
I only muted Rishi.
Yeah, I thought
didn't
you-
Jack
you-
actually
was
kicked the wrong
well.
person.
I thought you kicked out the wrong brown guy. I mean, I know there's 3 of us here,
Oh, Jack.
It's a little
I
fucked
swear to
up.
God. I swear to God, I didn't do it.
Yikes.
We'll figure out what's going on with
Yikes,
Apologyman's
dude.
video.
Yikes, dude.
Wait, he's going to give candy to the trick-or-treaters. That's what's happening.
that
Yeah.
that
God,
could
I
be.
wish that were me.
Apology man, are you still with us? Can you hear us?
He is in the Discord.
For now.
This is a crash out.
Oh no, I
All
see the. Oh yeah.
That's okay. We can move on to a topic that he might not know about. Rishi, fine. What are your thoughts?
Okay, I want to say the reason that I think it's a tired topic is that most of the discourse is born out of nostalgia for Smashboards, and for most of this topic's history, the suggestion has been let's go back to Smashboards, which is a terrible idea for a lot of reasons. The foremost of which is that the community is now too big to handle Smashboards. I actually think Reddit is not a terrible idea, but I think what Bonfire mentioned that if you have it public and you have people able to dogpile, that's a huge issue. I think it really comes down to what's the problem you're trying to solve. If right now the problem you're trying to solve is discoverability, you kind of have a double-edged sword on Reddit. You're not getting that on Facebook. You don't get discoverability on Facebook. You definitely don't get discoverability on Discord. So your last option is Twitter.
Thanks
And
for the raid, X.
that's where we're at.
I think you get discoverability on Facebook. You type in Indiana
Man.
Melee, New York Melee. and
Do
then
you type that in?
I did when I was first starting. That is absolutely the beginning of like.
At a point in your life where you were probably using Facebook
I was post
much more.
Smashboards. By the time I
So
was
was
entering
I.
the scene, Smashboards was dead.
That's fine. That's fine. Like I was not using Smashboards and I was actively using Facebook for a few years there, but I'm not actively using Facebook now. And I think a lot of players who are potentially interested in joining Smash are not necessarily on Facebook right now. I think they're on Twitter and on Twitch.
Okay, thank you, Axe, for the raid of 40 people. Welcome back, Apology Man. Let's move on to our next topic. Let's Make Moves Miami is this weekend with 640 attendees, a national Arcadian, Melee Rivals, Ultimate, and Beach Volleyball. We got Zane, Mango, Hungrybox, Aklo, Jmook, Wizrobe, Junebug, Joshman, Soonsay, Crudo, Lucky, and Fiction, all registered among many others. Frankly, to me, this looks like the end of the DK era when I look at Junebug's path. He's going to run into Wevins, Wizrobe, Moff, Chem, and Jmook one after another in the projected path to just even make top 8. Rishi, I've been curious about your thoughts on the DK Renaissance for a while. Have we reached the peak, or is the best yet to come?
It's tricky. It's tricky. I don't think we've reached the peak in terms of what Junebug is able to accomplish, but I think we're running into an issue here where Junebug is an incredible player who is able to outthink and outplan a lot of the top players we have right now. But we also have a lot of like, in that next tier or even the tier below who of players who understand DK a lot better than some of the top players do. The thing is, you can be missing like one or two things in your game plan and get bodied by June just because of the punish game differential.
Mhm.
Uh, we saw some of that at Function last week, where he ended up losing to Preeminent and Etai, both Fox players, and June has beaten Fox players ranked much higher than that. Um, but yeah, I don't have a clear answer for you. I think it's just gonna it depends a lot on his
Yeah.
bracket. I will also say he was not playing at his best last weekend, not to give him any Johns. But if you watch the videos, I think it speaks for itself. Um, so no, I will not say that he's reached his peak yet, but I do think that's an extremely
Yeah, it
challenging
feels like a
bracket.
bad day for a mid-tier hero is disastrously worse than a bad day for like everybody else.
100%, 100%.
Spark, what do you think?
The thing about Donkey Kong is he's not like real spill. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you mean.
Okay, so like it's like playing rock paper scissors with like a dude that only has rock and paper. But but if
That's
you
all you
like
need.
if you mess up with your hands, you also die immediately. So it's a lot easier for them to throw rock and paper because scissors, it takes like execution and whatnot. Um
Yeah.
so fighting Donkey Kong is kind of like that, and as long as you can like do the right thing with your hands sometimes, and like you basically just if you throw paper forever, you have like no like there's no way for you to lose, but eventually you're gonna have to press if they keep tying with you. So then after you do like 10 papers, then you throw out scissors and just pray they
You're a
don't throw
beast.
out rock. Anyway, the thing about Donkey Kong is that he's not real spill. And once people get the hang of it, he's just gonna get cooked.
Know what that means.
Yeah.
You come in every episode with a new catchphrase, and thus far, for like 5 or 7 episodes, whatever you've been on, I've understood each one. It immediately resonates with me. Real spill.
Yeah,
Is
you
this
gotta
like
take
a
this to the
VP
drawing
thing,
board
like
to
an oil spill?
Um, I
like
feel
facts.
like it's you understand what I'm saying without me having to elaborate. And I feel like
I don't, and
the
I'm gonna
real
have to
answer
know
is
you.
that
Bonfire,
need
what
to
do you think about this
Have you
DK
never
stuff?
spilled? Have you never spilled like the tea? Thing is, you just don't understand.
Oh,
You just
is
you
that
don't understand where like Spark's coming from here.
is
You just
Spark?
wouldn't
Is
get the
it spilling the
culture.
tea?
He has to ask. Oh my god.
well, I don't
Don't tell him.
Because I don't think Spark. I
You
don't
don't
think
have to
Spark
answer.
knows.
Spark doesn't have to. He gets it. He said it
Um,
first.
I feel like Jack, you understand what I'm saying without me having to like elaborate. You innately, intuitively understand what I'm saying.
I think you really. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say untrue things about me. Apologyman, what has been your outside or inside medium perspective on the DK Renaissance?
There's nothing this brown man can't do on that monkey. He makes the impossible happen. Like I saw him beat like Triff, who that matchup looks really bad.
It is very bad.
Yeah, but he did it anyway. That's the GoPro. Junebug can do anything. I don't give a shit. And look, like like what said earlier, right? You mess up once, get one cargo grab. It doesn't matter what character you are. Everyone gets punished the same mostly, but everyone gets their ass whipped when they get grabbed by Donkey Kong. It will happen.
It's
I'll
very
let you.
true.
I'll let you in on a little secret. A couple characters don't get their ass whooped when they get cargo thrown by DK. Mario and Luigi.
Oh,
That's awesome.
Low
gotta
key
watch
hard counters to DK.
Wait,
Hard
wait,
counters.
As it should be.
Yeah,
Wait, I think
it's
that's
canon.
canon.
It's canon.
Yeah, they jump over the barrels and they get up to the
Yeah.
top.
Oh
And
my
he just
God.
dies.
So are we gonna see if Mango starts losing? So the problem is Mango beats the brakes off of Junebug with Falco anyways.
Yeah, he does.
So he doesn't need to pull out the pocket Mario to win
I don't know though.
matchup.
Maybe on FD at some point he might.
Yeah,
He might.
But Rat
that's fun to look
Monster-
forward to.
He did
the
the
other
other
part
Monster.
part of Dr.
The
Mario
other
was
part of
not.
Let's Make Moves Miami is that they were going to be having a national Arcadian featuring Jade Komodo, Salami, Equilateral, although featuring feels odd here because these are unranked players. How do y'all feel about the national Arcadian as a concept? Let's start with Bonfire.
I think the concept is good, and the way they did it before, like what was it, like 5 or 6 years ago? I don't know. It was a while ago. It was very good then. Here, it's at the site of another major, and I kind of don't like that because
Yeah.
can you enter both tournaments?
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that's a little odd. It kind of like makes your mind split in different directions for what you're focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like whoever's if I was going there, I could only do one. I wouldn't do the Arcadian. But even doing both, it's like, well, the real bracket's over there. I want to do
Yeah.
better there.
Yeah.
So I think if it was standalone tournament, that would make more sense. And then it wouldn't be a thing that like it could be in a smaller venue. You wouldn't have top players needing to go out for it. It would just be the Arcadians, and then you can focus a lot more on it. But I feel like it's going to get overshadowed, both in the terms of players and also the
Mhm.
viewers.
But is
So-
there a better way to get them all there?
Just do
So
it. The first one. I would go to one if it wasn't at the same time as a major. I would still do it.
Yeah, I went to the 1 5 6 years ago. It was awesome. It's like when you're not allowed to play, you just like, yeah, I'm too good, and then you get some fucking ice cream, and then you hang out, and then you just shoot the shit, and then money match people. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I actually think the National Arcadian actually is kind of better than a regular Arcadian in a lot of ways. So the problem I see with regular Arcadians is a lot of players that they just like don't go out to their locals, so they don't like really good players that would for sure be on PR or whatever. They just don't go out, and then they farm the Arcadian and just win it. The reason I'm saying this is exactly what I did in Smash 4. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm this I won the first NorCal Smash 4 Arcadian because I just didn't go to shit. And yeah, you know, I got a lot of money for that. I'm like, damn, I kind of feel bad for doing this. I think that at least with the National Arcadian, you got to be ranked on like a world scale. So I think it's like kind of fixes that issue a little bit more, at least from what I can tell.
What you're describing sounds great. You got to play the minimum amount of Smash 4 and maximize your money. That seems like you figured that shit out and nobody else did.
Okay, for my PS4. Yeah. Thanks, shout
real
out
play
to
is-
Smash 4 Lucario.
The real play is getting second and then coming back every year to do it.
True.
Because you don't get
That-
banned then.
You don't
is
disqualify
genius.
yourself.
Yeah.
I think I entered that same Smash 4 Arcadian that you won, Vinny.
Oh, you were there? Oh
All
shit.
those
Yeah.
years
You
ago.
took Sparks money.
I beat 2 people. Let's not get it twisted. I was not the goat. I do think that it does fix the issue because every like regional Arcadian is always won by some dude who's obviously the goat but isn't technically the goat, and it's really lame to watch. Like, even back when the very first Arcadian, I don't know if this is the first Arcadian ever, but the NorCal Arcadian, the very first one, that was my very first tournament. Everyone knew Laudandus was gonna win, and then he did
Yeah.
win. And then like I don't know, and then the second one, I think Bartle won, and everyone knew Bartle was gonna win. And then Dookie beat everyone. That was a tragedy, including myself. But we don't
It was a
talk about
tragedy
that.
or was it hype?
It was a tragedy.
Okay. Was Spark supposed to win that one?
Yeah, and instead Spark got 9th, losing to Dookie and getting timed out by Cheese Puff.
So does this happen at National Arcadians the same amount or less? At least a little bit. Where like the favorite.
It
There's not
doesn't. It
been a
doesn't
lot of
happen.
them.
I will say that this lineup that you described, Jack, on the National Arcadian actually sounds really hype. And I think even if you say featuring X, Y, or Z players who may not have like a sort of global standing, it means something to those people who are grinding Slippy online all the time. Because if you're a Slippy grinder, you know who Jchu is because you've run into him.
Right.
Right. So you know who these people are just from having played them. And to Spark's point, I think what you're doing with the National Arcadian at a major, it's less about like I hear your arguments, Bonfire, about the logistics of running the tournament alongside a major, but I think if you also consider the National Melee Arcadian to be a celebration of Melee in addition to being a tournament featuring talent that's not typically featured, and then also giving top players an opportunity to be a fan in the crowd while they're watching, I think there's a lot
Yeah.
to
I
a
feel
lot
like
of value there.
At one of these big tournaments like a Genesis, like Yos doubles on Friday, like on the stream, run an Arcadian on Friday that goes all the way to grand finals. We can watch grand finals content
Yeah.
2 out of the 3 days of the tournament, and people are gonna go crazy for it. This is, I think in that sense, logistically, there are a lot of advantages. But if you're in the Arcadian, that's a hard weekend. You are in like a lot of try hard brackets and one of them is Weenie Hut General.
That's the dream.
Okay,
You lose,
different
you lose in one bracket. You're like, oh, I still got the other bracket.
You
Let's go."
finally have a quadruple elimination tournament. That's right.
Unless you go 0-4, then it's pretty rough.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. This one comes to us from YCZ on the Fourside Fights Discord. Please join our Patreon. That'll be my shill of the episode. Who is the second greatest Smash/FGC combined player of all time? Who is the second greatest Smash/FGC player of all time?
Void.
Void. What a call. Void.
He's a god gamer. He's a legit god gamer.
What
Leffen is like a legit god gamer. Didn't Void win Dragon Ball Fighters at Smash and Splash like the year that it came out?
Yeah, he won that over Lord Knight. No, he's good for sure.
Yeah.
Like, he was good in Guilty Gear as well.
Yeah, he can pick a game and he'll be good at it.
I don't think Void is the correct answer, though. Good try, though. Very nice. Spark?
If you see me, if you saw me at Evo playing Third Strike, I'm at least in the question. You gotta understand.
He was cooking, can confirm.
Yeah, Vinny's up there, man. Have you seen
Yeah.
his dog and his Falco?
Okay.
And his Lucario.
I don't think that's
Lucario.
true. This is not correct.
Okay, so Jack's looking for a specific answer. and
I
have no
think,
idea.
well, it's more that I was okay with answers different than mine, but these answers are worse than mine.
Okay.
Okay.
I have no idea who plays other fighting games. I don't pay attention to that.
All right. Well, the correct answer is, do you have it?
Me, maybe?
No, it's not you.
It's Men RD, right? No.
No, it's Drug Fox.
Oh, don't wait.
Oh,
No, I
shit.
should know this. Actually, it is
Yeah,
that. Oh,
it
okay. I'm
is
so
Drug
sorry.
Fox.
I'm so sorry, Sammy. I'm so
There's so
sorry.
many
I
people
literally
to
just
think
saw
of.
him at a wedding
Yeah.
like a few weeks ago. Okay, I'm sorry, but he doesn't enter that many tournaments anymore. But skill wise, I do agree with you. I do agree
Yeah.
with you.
Well,
And the
how are we
last time he
defining
went-
goat then? Are we defining goat on like skill wise, or are we defining goat? Because I feel like
I would have
push
also
back
accepted
against
Riddles. I would have also accepted he's great, and everybody says he's great behind the scenes, and I'm a top player, and I know that everybody says he's great, Jack, and you're not a top player, so you don't know.
this.
That would have been acceptable.
Riddles, I think, actually has an interesting layer to it. That's an interesting answer because he plays fighting game characters in Smash.
Yeah, that's right.
That is funny.
Yeah, Riddles is another good one too, and he actually enters a lot of stuff, and he places like pretty high.
He's
at
been
a
on the
lot of stuff.
grind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Men RD is good too, but it's like a sliding scale, right? So there's like there's Smash skill, and then there's FGC skill. Like,
Yeah.
is it just enough FGC skill like does the like little amount of Smash skill? Because that's
Well,
how I see Men RD. Like, he's
Which
really good at fighting.
direction
in
is
both.
more common? An FGC primary player that dips into Smash, or a Smash primary player that dips into FGC? Which happens more often?
The latter.
It's got to be the latter. Yeah.
Smash is just too different, but fighting games, I think you can pick up a little
But
more.
if they're
easily.
too different and both sides have the same problem.
I don't.
I
think
mean,
so.
dipping into the other genre.
I know.
really.
I'm saying I think playing a fighting game, I think is just a lot. It just is a little more easy to pick up generally than melee. Maybe I don't know about the
Is
other
it
side.
that-
Okay, I see.
Is it that
Yeah.
if you're a fighting game player and you're trying to pick up a second game, you're most likely going to pick up another fighting game?
Right. Whereas a Smasher is almost less likely to be like, I want to play. There's nothing else, right?
I'm
What are
going to
you
go
gonna
from
do if you're a
melee to
Melee
ultimate.
fan?
Like, I love melee so much. No.
Now you have rivals, and so
Now
that
you
might
have
decrease
rivals,
the
yes.
Yeah. But like previously, it's like, all right, I gotta call Toph to go carry me in this Riot game and show me how to play. And they still don't have Bard. So waiting on that.
In the
Let's
League of
move on to our
Legends
next
fighting
topic.
game.
Huh?
In the fighting game for League,
Huh?
you're asking. You saying they have Bard? They don't have Bard in the
They
fighting.
don't
game.
have Bard.
How would they include him?
In Riot Games' fighting game?
Never mind. We can go to the next topic. What would he do?
Put enemies in stasis.
He just stuns you forever.
Double
That's all.
stun.
The game's
Double
over.
stun is amazing for a tag game.
He can be an assist. Yeah.
I
That's it.
don't understand what anyone's talking about. I don't.
You
play
will.
League of
You will,
Legends.
Spark. We'll get you into rivals,
I-
and then you're going to try something new
I-
because you're fearless.
I like melee.
All right,
That's
let's
so
move on to
good.
our next topic. Don't Park on the Grass is approaching, and as I will be there, we probably won't have an episode that week, so let's talk about it now. Its attendee count sits at nearly 1,500. I think it's fair to call it a super major with Zane, Plup, Cody, Jmu, Hungrybox, Mango, Wizro, Bomsa, Aklo, Moki, even friggin' Leffen registered, along with dozens of other top 100 players. Who do you think will win, and what are you looking forward to from Seattle in 2 weeks?
The person who's going to win was not listed just now is a player by the name of Lod, currently
Oh,
currently inactive on the summer top 50, but I think last year he got ranked what 12, entering
yeah.
the bare minimum number of tournaments. You don't get ranked 12 with a bare minimum number of tournaments with some middling results. The dude is straight up a god. I mean, obviously no bias here. But yeah, I think everybody's gonna have a quick reminder on who this guy is.
That's very exciting. Bonfire, what do you think?
Yeah, boring answer. Zane's the GOAT right now. He's gonna
Mhm.
win.
Can I change
Uh,
my answer? Zane is gonna win.
Yeah, yeah. What
Mm.
does
Too
he have?
late.
Does he have an AMSA bracket? That's
He
like
might.
the
Well, that's the thing is
one
he's got an
thing.
AMSA Leffen both in attendance.
Yeah, so
Multiple
both.
Zane killers out
I
there.
think Zane can handle Leffen maybe at this point. I think that's possible.
A little trepidation in your voice when you're thinking about Leffen. He's a little
Me?
spooky.
The more hatred.
Yeah.
Leffen
I
has
think
for
I don't
Rishi-
really care about
And
them.
Seattle
I'm
is
trying to play
basically
back.
Canadian. Leffen powers up in Canada.
Does he?
Well,
Is that
here's
a
the thing. Leffen is currently in what, like the top 5 on the leaderboard for rivals. Like the guy is grinding rivals. You guys know how much Zane is grinding rivals? He's not. He's really bad at it, which I think speaks favorably for his chances at Dope Park.
He is strangely bad at everything except for Marth and Marth with fire in like a lot of games.
Well, let's take a step back on that because his Roy is pretty good.
That's
It's
what
not
he
just
meant.
Marth.
Marth with fire.
Marth with
That's
fire.
Marth with
Oh,
fire,
okay, I
yeah.
missed that. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Another
Another point to Jack.
I saw his Leonard and Nick Allstar, who was not the best, but yeah, I think that it's probably Zane. Zane's been winning everything. I think if Leffen could be like the wild card, the thing I've noticed with him is like the bigger his hatred is for the current traditional fighting game he's playing, the better he does in melee. He's just like, God damn it, I hate this, and then he just goes back to Old Faithful,
Oh,
Old
reliable.
He's got
yeah.
this. He's got the strive
no
patch
patch
power up.
game.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Because
you
he
can't-
won Evo when he was playing like Dragon Ball Fighters mostly.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's really
he hates Guilty Gear right now.
He lives by comparison.
yeah.
Spark, what do you think?
Listen, I'm not gonna win, but I'll get third. Is Gorby Schwam not going?
He is.
Oh, Cody.
Oh,
I might have not listed him or said it very
okay,
quickly.
yeah. Gorby Schwam will get second. Zane will win.
Gorby Schwab, tear down this Zane. Right? We like that. Very
No.
good. Very good. Happy Halloween. Rest in peace, Bozo. Let's move on to our tiebreaker. We have a pretty close episode. The way the tiebreaker works, we'll start with Bonfire as being behind in the points. This is basically my chance to just let whoever I want to win, unless you really choke it. Being ahead is useful, but it's not everything. So here's what's up. I've recently purchased loafers from Meerman Shoes. Meerman Shoes, very reputable brand. They are beautiful. They're suede. One is a bit too small. UK size 9. I bought like 2 pairs to figure out the sizing. UK size 9 is one of them. I can feel the width being a bit uncomfortable, especially with socks on. The other is a bit too big, a UK size 9.5, and it slips at my ankles unless I'm wearing quite thick socks. For today's tiebreaker and the championship, which pair should I keep?
Yeah, Jack, you can go with the bigger one, and there are these inserts you can get that kind of adhesive on the back that you can put to the back of a shoe, and it just adds a little more padding so that you can fit into them, and they're really easy
Okay.
to buy and use.
Okay. Spark?
I can't help but feel like you and I are cut from the same cloth, and we are simply too neurodivergent to wear loafers.
You are wrong. I bought a pair. I love loafers. But I respect the attempt at solidarity. We could talk about it afterwards. I'll get you on the loaf train maybe, and I can tell you why they're good for neurodivergenters.
Loafer? I hardly know her. I've actually never owned
That's
a pair.
pretty good. That's pretty good. You saved it. All right, Rishi.
I'm gonna second Bonfire's suggestion and also add a little bit to that. I would say definitely go with the bigger size and go for an insert. Superfeet has inserts of varying thicknesses. I actually recently had my own crisis where I was trying to fit into my own boots, and I was like, one shoe is too tight, one shoe is too loose, and I had like 4 different Superfeet inserts that I ordered from Amazon, and I was putting them all in and taking them out and changing my mind and trying on different socks. There are dress shoe specific inserts that you can buy that are not going to cover on the whole base of the shoe. I can happily send you a link on Amazon if you're
I love
interested.
that.
Also,
Absolutely.
my sister happens to be a foot and ankle surgeon. She
course.
and Lod, who's training to be a hand surgeon.
So what are you doing?
I'm the brains.
Okay.
So that's my suggestion.
Apologyman, I'm going to give you a second option on this tiebreaker. You can, if you leak or give us an exclusive on anything with 2x KO, you can instantly win the episode right here. Alternatively, you can answer the question about my shoes.
Jack, I'm gonna just get you both shoes. You know, I'm gonna use Daddy Riot's money to just get you both, and then you can get inserts if you want. Whatever. You don't have to. You don't need to stress about this. You're too good for this, Jack. You deserve both shoes. Hit my DMs later. I got you.
Yo, these are expensive shoes. You don't know what you're doing. All right,
Yes,
but that
right.
is the first time I have been explicitly bribed for an episode of Fourside Fights. That means our winner is Apologyman. Apologyman. Everybody,
Let's
we aren't going
go.
to see you on the sticks unless you really want to boot up Slippy, and we'll throw you in there too. But other than that, stick around with us. We're going to get the 3 losers onto Fourside, see exactly how their punditry translates to Melee. Guys can fight.
Oh, okay.
All right. I like Rishi playing the Donkey Kong as his costume is for Halloween. Wait, I what Bonfire's costume is it like Scarlet Witch or
Little Red
No,
Riding
Little Red
Hood.
Riding
Little
Hood.
Red Riding? Okay, all right, cool.
I got the hood. Wait.
Damn,
You got
Oh,
anything to
just-
shill for us? Anything that the people
Oh,
should
to
be
chill.
looking out
Yeah,
for?
follow me on Twitter at Apologyman. And follow my YouTube. I don't really post that much on YouTube. Just follow my Twitter. I don't
The
do
Blue
much.
Sky.
No, I'm not doing that. Like, if Twitter goes down, I go down with it.
Okay.
I'm schmoving.
Do people use Threads? Does that catch on?
A little bit. It's very normie heavy, which is
Okay.
cool.
I use Instagram. You guys can follow me on Instagram.
Yeah. Anything on your mind that you wish we talked about that you were expecting?
Bonfire, we gotta
I-
get this camper.
I thought we
What?
would talk.
You
a
killed
bit
me, though.
More about rivals, but we.
Well, yeah, but now I want to kill the other guy.
I got to meet these other people. One sec. This is your time. This is not their time.
Where am I?
People know this. I actually started with Melee. This is like my first competitive fighting game.
I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, this is now like my Melee skill is it's basically like a party trick, you know? Like
Yeah.
someone sees me do like a shine grab and they're like, "Oh shit, Vinny, okay, I see you," you know.
Yeah.
Like the peak of
Were
I
you
think
a
the
Fox
peak-
main?
No, so when I played back in like middle high school, I played Dr. Mario actually. Yeah, I was like a
Ooh.
huge like Bob Money fan and Shroom. Like
Mhm.
later on, now that I play the game, I play Falco mostly.
Yeah. I do feel like Falco is like secretly an like retiree character.
He's so sick, dude. Yeah.
No,
also,
I
he has
agree.
like, a lot of like team game, like Marvel vs. Capcom like vibes where he has like a projectile that he can like follow behind. He has like a launcher attack, you know. So I think a lot of that matches with me. I think the peak of my Melee career was taking a single game off Prime Silent Spectre in tournament.
Oh shit.
Yeah, with my Dr. Mario.
You and Armada.
Yeah.
the
A
same
game, not a match.
game
Not
record.
a set. It was just one game. It was one game.
Yeah, Armada also took one game.
Oh, oh wait, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that's how I was expected to beat Armada. And also Leffen called my Falco campy at the Dragon Ball Fighter Summit when we played on the side.
Nice.
So I was like, yeah, I'll take that. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
camper. Shit. Oh no.
This is a little bit of a slow game. They're taking their time. We might see a timeout. If they
You
choose
wave
to.
dash on the UFO, you get that like big slide. Oh, Zelda. Okay.
You get a
okay.
Luigi wave dash, yeah.
Nice. Whoa.
And Luigi gets like a double Luigi.
Nice.
This is possibly the highest level fight on Fourside that we've ever had. Like these are 3,
Yeah.
you know, either top 100
I'm looking
level,
at Zed's
formerly
screen.
top
He's
100.
locked in right now. He's trying to. Nice.
Yeah, this is for all the pride. There's been a lot of fights on Fourside that are like a little more intense than the episode itself. Because the episode you're just talking, you know? But sometimes people really want to win. Because it's embarrassing if you lose the episode and you lose in this.
Yeah.
That's like the underlying threat of the show.
Oh,
I think as a kid, the one thing that really bothered me about this stage is the size of the characters in relation to like the windows. Like, why am I this? Like, why is Sheik the size of like an entire like the window? Oh, I like that. Going for the grabs.
What should be, if this goes to time, should they be punished? Should they be rewarded? What do you think? It's your
They
kind of
definitely play
court.
sudden death, and I think sudden death should determine. Wait, is sudden death turned off on Flippy?
I have no idea. I'm talking about in the court of our laws. Me and you are making it. You know?
Okay. If it goes to timeout, only Spark specifically has to play main rivals.
Okay. If it goes to timeout,
Yeah.
Spark and you to do a tiebreak.
Yeah, no matter what.
Oh!
Okay, that
Little
was
combo? Little team combo?
I just want Spark to hang out with.
Oh. When was the last time you hung out?
Genesis. He always stays at my place for Genesis.
They are torturing this Donkey Kong. They're actually torturing him. These are things that are banned in the Geneva Convention that we are seeing. And Rishi is responding in kind.
Oh, I didn't know you could like charge the punch up and then regrab. That's pretty cool.
And that's the end of Bonfire10.
Okay, I wonder how much Junebug learned Donkey Kong from Rishi. Or I know he learned a lot from.
Rishi is the progenitor of all Donkey Kong. Now, as far as I'm concerned, there's like primordial origins that predate Rishi, but like
Yeah,
only one read the sacred texts.
that's right.
yeah. There's a PM Donkey Kong that's really good. Thunder's Reign.
Yeah.
I know. Junebug's really familiar with them.
They're just waiting. 2 minutes left.
It's getting intense.
Oh, that was like a little screw up.
This is what happens when I die.
Yeah, true. Our instigator is out.
Oh, the falling
Oh.
over.
Is
Oh,
that real? On
nice.
second?
Okay. Uh-oh, Donkey Kong.
One in the air dodge.
He's playing scissors.
Oh!
Oh no. Hit him with rock.
Oh, that's
Nice.
catch.
Oh, big
Everybody's the
punch.
same once Donkey Kong has you.
Oh my god, oh!
No!
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 No jump, no! Oh my god,
I
was
cannot
such a good
believe fair
wall
was the option there.
turn. Yeah, that was sick. Oh, that was so good.
Wait, up,
Get up,
can't
everybody,
can't go, but bump.
Yeah. Floor's so dizzy and
This is extremely tense. 1 minute 14 left. I don't think it's going to timeout. I think they are going to hit each other.
Yeah. Yeah, the backers.
Let's go.
And it is Rishi with the up the Adam shield, winning the fight on Fourside. DK Renaissance continues for another year. That's what happens when Rishi doesn't see his shadow. Thank you all for being here. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Fourside Fights. See y'all when we're back. Bye-bye.